All righty then. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the last meeting of 2020. And my last meeting as chairman, so it's been an honor and a privilege to serve as chairman this past year. Got that formality out of the way. We'll call the meeting to order and look for a motion to approve the agenda.
Any additions or corrections? No. Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda approved. Minutes from the 12/21 meeting.
I read the short minutes and they look pretty good, so I'll make that motion to approve.
Second.
All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes approved. General public concerns. Anybody out in the hall? No general public concerns? Nobody on Zoom? Okay. Well, seeing and hearing none, we got Rick and Travis Peterson here today. I think just to give us pretty much an update on the year? One speaking at the end of the year?
And
Yeah.
turned in a couple invoices and just thought we'd show up if
That's
there's any
awesome.
questions on it. And
Thank you.
we're still fixing pipe on DD10. We're probably a third of the way done with that ditch that we bid on, and that's all we got left is some pipe to fix there.
Okay.
Most of the ditches, we got the dirt leveled except for a few where, when we cleaned them at the last, there was so much water.
Oh, yeah.
Then that dirt did freeze, or the other dirt now hasn't. So it's,
How did you, speaking of dirt leveling, did you get, to your satisfaction, all the spoils on DD10 done?
10 is done. yeah.
That's done.
18's probably half done.
Most of what's left at 18 is set aside acres.
Yeah, I know how you guys
Grass that it got piled on.
operate. Perfect.
We tried to hit the spots where they're farming to the edge.
I'm-
Done, but
well, we were really blessed with continuing good weather.
Not often you can work in a ditch and you can walk the bottom of it.
Oh.
Because it's dry. So, only now is it's filling up with snow every time it snows, and then you can't see the pipe, so that makes it a little tougher, but...
So on DD10, I mean, give or take, the amount of pipe, about half of the pipe replaced, you said, or?
A third.
Probably a third.
Third.
And of the ones that they had found initially, we'd be at least half. But there's a lot that got missed.
Oh, yeah.
They were broken off, they didn't see. We're just fixing them all as we move through a section. So quite a bit of the ones that we've repaired already have been ones that nobody knew about.
Yeah,
So just basically that, makes the total bigger.
yep.
So, yeah, I'd say we're probably roughly a third of the way through them, if we keep finding them at the rate that we are now.
Is there possibility of, I mean, it's definitely gonna get cold and nasty here for balance of this week, but in the next week, it looks like could be above average again. What's the idea or thought process of fixing pipe into January? Is it just gonna be too nasty and too froze, or?
It could be, like I said, the problem I think is gonna be if that snow shows up tomorrow, it's gonna blow the ditch full of snow, then we can't even see the pipe.
Yeah.
Oh, there's already, I can't believe how much snow is in the bottom.
That's where it all went.
4 feet.
Must be where it all went to,
You're
yeah.
digging right now, you can run your shovel over the top of the ground in the farmer's field and scoop up dirt.
Yeah.
There's no water to
It's
freeze.
not hard yet, but,
And you can see in the road ditches, snow's getting black, it's blowing. But no, digging it's fine, it's just,
Yeah, see, finding,
until we get a rain event.
yeah,
But, yeah, we're in a drought, we're gonna need water next spring.
definitely.
You're also gonna be getting to a point where you're gonna have to, do we leave the machine set out there and then all of a sudden we get a cold week and it's gonna sit there till spring? I don't know.
Our long reaches sit outside wherever they
Oh,
go.
right.
So they're outside anyway, we usually leave them where we're working. And like today, we're gonna go out after lunch, it's gonna get in the teens at least, and the engine in that excavator, same as my Dodge pickup, it's 6.7 Cummins, so let your engine heaters
Right.
preheat it and it fires it. I'd rather not, but I'd also rather get the work done. so.
Right, well, we appreciate it.
But that's all we're doing, we brought in them invoices and just, I wanna drop them on you and not represent it, so if
And
there's
there's a lot that went on at 18.
Oh, wow,
You've been up there.
Yeah.
We were all over this branch and that branch, and then there's field driveways.
they did a stellar job with some things that were unbeknownst. I mean, you always know about the pipe and stuff, that's kind of a given, but these field drives, that, 3 of them in a row, 2 of them that nobody really knew about till we got the first one, dug out, and it was, these guys did phenomenal work
They find
there
out the wind, they set it off the ground, the wind blew it in the ditch.
years
They
ago.
just covered it, it was 3 feet above flow line. So we cleaned the ditch out, now it gets to these field crossings, and so we took them out, dug it deeper, put them back in. Well, we put them back in, I guess.
Yeah, we had a lot of help from Mark Kellner. He brought his, regular length excavator out and helped me do the pipe. I did, helping him with the removal and then cutting the grade, and then he kinda handled a lot of the, ripping out the actual pipe and putting it back in.
More of the farmer's expense on it.
Yeah.
We just stayed on the county side for what we...
Yeah, he was a big help, 'cause it let Dad with our second excavator go back to DD10 and get some other stuff done.
Yeah, it
Mark helped me, so that worked really pretty well.
Well, Bruce, I just think about the 3 years ago, there's a couple of driveway crossing pipe that seemed to become a bit of a headache. And these, like I said, the tenant made everybody aware that it was bad, and so kinda knew on that one, and they kinda got that one under control. Lo and behold, just up the ditch, there's 2 others that no one knew about, and that's ones that Rick said that were way off the grade of the ditch. And, just the fact of getting those out, clean it, and put back in as seamlessly as it went was just unbelievable.
Well, if they were 6 inches too high, we'd have just made it work.
Yeah.
But 3 feet, that was gonna stop.
And you wonder why they-
Stop in from emptying out.
Yeah, you wonder why you didn't get very good flow from, and that's from where those driveways were, there's a lot of ditch left.
That's at least a mile and a quarter.
There's a lot of ditch left.
Yeah, a mile and a half, probably.
Well, and like I mentioned to you, it might be a good thing to consider sticking that section of DD 18 now,
Mhm.
and putting those numbers kinda in the record book.
It's
Because when
gotta
they
be-
surveyed that
Yes.
top end, the old flow line that they had in for that ditch is 3 feet higher than the box culvert in the gravel road. So, that's now down to the box culvert with the grade that the ditch is supposed to have, and then we've got that grade running south of the box culvert too. But I'm just wondering if the records don't get updated, in the future when this project happens,
They'll
they're
look at-
still gonna be going off the old numbers,
Old numbers, yeah.
which are for some reason, they're way above that box culvert.
Is that
Which box?
where the Trotter one is?
Be the one on 130.
That box culvert
About a
north.
mile west of the,
Beat Kenny Boland's road,
Blacktop.
that helps you,
Okay, mile west of Utah,
Yep,
got, 8x8 box.
yep. And everything is working, great now. As soon as we got all those dams cut out of there, that top end emptied right out.
And they went to the trouble, rightfully so, to clean that box culvert that had, a lot of...
Completely cleaned
Yeah,
out.
and they took the little skid loader, it's awesome.
We typically bury those box culverts 6 inches.
Yeah,
Just for an instance like this, the next time that the ditch gets cleaned out, that we're not 3 feet
No.
higher than what the flow line is.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
deeper's better than higher.
Yeah, we try and make sure we're at least 6 inches deeper.
Yeah.
This one I just know 'cause it was engineered, and I went off the elevation stake that Hopper set, and then I put my bucket in the bridge, and I had to go down 3 feet,
Yeah.
so then I just redid my settings and ran it from there. why have the ditch up here and the bridge, I mean, you're never gonna keep it clean.
Well, you'd have outlet pipes at the top end that were, you know, right down at the dirt at the bottom of the ditch, sitting on the bottom, if you dug it to the old flow line. So I'm sure Jacobson Westergaard surveyed it right to the numbers that they had,
Well,
you know, whatever, you know, hub they're going off of, but,
you bring up a good point, and however that needs to be accomplished, the updated numbers, if you will, elevation, in this case, needs to be recorded.
yeah. Or at least, you know, at the very minimum, maybe note, we went off of that box culvert in the road.
Could do that. Could you just put something in the records that, yeah,
Ran the
They-
0.04% grade
From-
from there.
yes.
And, so we know you've
But
got
some-
the correct grade, but now you've got depth and capacity.
right,
Pipes aren't gonna be underwater,
yep.
and those field crossings are now down.
Yep.
So that water should just shoot right out of there now.
It's gonna be wonderful.
But,
One other, before I forget about it, question on DD-18. Speaking of all the branches and all the cleaning it took to get to the point even, do you have one more, call it a branch?
yeah, there's one more small branch up there. And, you know, we've been trying to just prioritize kind of the
Right.
jobs we have, being DD-10 was a bid contract job. As soon as we got the digging at DD-18 done, we went back down there and we're gonna try to knock that pipe out first and get that totally done up, buttoned up and finished. So it'll probably be next spring, you know, before that.
But that's
That's
the
where
one,
DD-18 gets started, but...
the one cleaning project
Yeah,
on
that's
DD-18 is that.
the last thing up there to clean, and it's not great. When I cut the main ditch, you kinda got a profile.
I'm sure it needs to be
where it
cleaned.
winds in, and it's pretty full.
I'm sure, they all were.
You know, that one, I think in total, it was a little over a mile, maybe, 'cause it goes, you know, it curves around to the south, and then there's another just little stub off of it that's only like a quarter mile long. So, I wanna say it was roughly a mile, maybe a hair more, but...
But that'll get 18 completed.
Yep, so I mean, that spur, branch, whatever you wanna call it, left to clean, actual cleaning, and then, of course, a bunch of pipe.
There's pipe up there yet to fix.
And then a lot of pipe on 18, so that's kind of in the next year's project, is gonna be the completion in entirety on the DD-18 project.
Yeah,
Correct, yeah.
yeah, we kind of prioritize the ditch cleaning, get their water flow.
Yes, no, you guys
Get
did
that
it.
done for the year, get the dirt leveled, you know, where guys are gonna wanna
Yep,
farm
you
next
did
spring.
phenomenal, and like I said, blessed with unbelievable conditions to get this far into the year, to get that much done, but, you know, you had to be doing it too, and thanks for doing that.
Well, we
So,
appreciate the work, so...
how are
try to
you
keep that-
setting, when you get the DD-18 done, and obviously whatever balance of the outlet pipes on DD-10, I'm gonna say into next year, in the next spring or summer, so are you, for big projects, is that about it that you had?
That's it, that branch at 18
And
and
then-
fixing pipe. So, yeah, you got, I know Mr. Nielsen had talked to me about the rest of DD-6.
I think we need to take a hard look at that in the next year.
He said he'll sign the petition.
I'm sure he will.
They want that, under Roosevelt, they want that pipe cleaned out, and then
Yep,
we started in the middle of that ditch and went up. You really need to start at the bottom,
yep.
because it's just sitting full of water, what we cleaned before, but...
Well, we need to probably look at that pipe under Roosevelt too, that...
Yes,
It's a long CMP pipe.
We'll get it flushed out,
Yeah.
and we can see how
There's about 2 foot of material right on the inlet side for about the first 5 feet, and then the rest of it looks pretty clear. If you look at it from the downstream side looking up, that's what's holding the water back.
So are you talking on the upper side of 6, or the,
This would be the top end of 6, this is, 10-foot diameter pipe underneath Roosevelt Avenue.
okay.
And how we clean them is with water, so when he talked to me, it was, we're getting towards freezing, and I
You
really
can't.
don't wanna start pulling water in
Right.
the truck, but yeah, thanks for asking,
Well, I mean, I remember we talked at the beginning of this year with Rick and Travis, and they had all this staring them in the face, projects that, you know, they to do, and did a stellar job of getting to the point, so you're really just at the completion part of 10 and 18 next year, but that certainly see the light at the end of the tunnel, so you're not gonna be swamped with a humongous project all of 2021, so that's good to know.
This is why we bought the second excavator too, was just so now we can be in a couple places, you know, if there's something that needs attention.
It worked
A lot, you know, the
well.
ditch cleaning is a one-man thing, so
It worked well.
if we got two of them, then that'll help. It certainly helped this
Oh.
year.
The work is there, we're gonna keep doing work, we'll keep working just in Humboldt.
Yep.
So, yeah, if we kinda know there's some work coming up, we won't. look at
Well,
other counties.
you mentioned one, and I think that DD6 is about the next.
If I could add that, we wouldn't look anywhere else. But,
I think we...
and I'm a landowner in that ditch too, but I won't be the contractor, not the guy signing the petition.
Right, that's a conflict of interest,
A little bit.
but creating your own work orders.
Yeah, but I'm gonna help pay for it too, so.
Well, I think that's awesome, then.
The lower half, or lower portion of that along the blacktop to Thor is kind of bad also.
That gets convoluted down there by that, I mean, you've got several branches coming together,
Along the road,
goes right through Gary Keena's
yes.
there.
And I don't know if there's something that can be helped to make that not wash out anymore.
And that's
Because it goes
always
into-
had a slough-off problem, because the banks are almost straight up and down.
Yeah, it's really difficult there.
But, yeah, that's the ditch, where it ends up, is down there. Then it goes up to Roosevelt, was where we stopped cleaning it before.
Okay.
But, nope, that's all we had.
Does anybody else have anything for Rick and Travis? They did,
No,
they
we
do...
appreciate it very much.
They did great work, they do great work, and we appreciate them, you know.
Like to see you stopping in and visiting.
Yes, thank you, that means a lot.
It's just easier for us to answer questions.
Yep.
You
And we know we can get ahold of you guys. I know I can get ahold of you. And you've been really good to work with, and just keep up the good work.
We appreciate it very much.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thanks, Rick, Travis, thank you guys a lot.
See you later.
I got, not that, I know we're not in drainage, but just an update. Brendan Meyer had, a work order project on DD5, if you remember way back when, Dave, but it was this year still, that kinda looped up through, you know, it was on the road up, and he just got that wrapped up. He did get the ditch cleaning part of DD5. He even got that along the road. There's a spur right directly along the road there. So, there's a few things he'll have to finish up next year, dirt leveling and a couple pipe replacements and stuff. But as far as the actual ditch cleaning, he did get it done. I was a little concerned, 'cause it seemed like it was taking him a long time, but he did get it done, so.
Good.
Just wanted to give you an update on that.
Awesome.
Otherwise, I don't think I have anything in drainage.
Oh, should go out of drainage.
Guess we weren't in drainage. We were just discussing it. Yeah, we were just visiting. So, that's nice, those guys came in. Brandon got his project done on DD5, and now we can see what Ben's got for us.
All I have is to approve one application to work in the county's right of way. This is kind of a joint effort between Billy Scott and us. Just outside of the city limits of Livermore, he's been doing some tree removal out in his farm field. There's an intake out there. He'd like to run a additional private tile line up to the road right away and put an intake just in the county's right of way to try and collect some of the water that runs through that property. Right now, there's a large blowout on the outlet side of a cross pipe that runs underneath the highway, so we're gonna haul in a load or two of black dirt and then lay down a chunk of fabric and put some riprap down, as well as, the intake in the right of way. It's not gonna take all the water that runs through that pipe, but it'll take some, I should say.
So is that blowout, is that our repair, or is that his?
The blowout would be our repair.
Are we gonna try to get that word knocked out?
Yeah, we're trying to get that knocked out either this week or next. It was on our list to do last week, but then with the snow coming and obviously with the snow that they're talking about starting tomorrow, I don't know if we'll get to it this fall yet, or this winter yet, or if this is gonna be springtime work.
Well, now, when you say this winter,
Cause
for this fall, I'm almost to the new year.
I know.
We're gonna get it before next fall, right?
Yeah, it felt like fall, basically.
I know, I'm all for it. I'm
Week
good with
before
it.
last, we were still cleaning ditch. and-
Right. But everything is in order, right? All of the...
Yes, yeah,
Everything
this
is, so I'd make a motion to approve the application for the work in the right of way for Billy Scott on section 20 of Humboldt Township.
I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. So let's jump down and approve the claims.
I got, $74,806.82, and drainage of $28,852.10.
Is that the right number? 'Cause I didn't have that number on 74. I had 74,564, so I didn't know if I missed
I looked at
one.
the bottom, that's what it said there on the bottom.
Take a look, Dave.
Again, to make sure I didn't have my glasses on, and
I'll try to read the phone here, so, let's see what we got. Yeah, 74,806.82,
I'm glad you had yours on 802,
806.82.
80.
74,806.82.
Now that he's proved it to me, I'll second his motion.
Okay.
Drainage is 28,852.10.
That's what I had.
All right, so we have first and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Claims approved. We can, is there anything else in this box noteworthy or Trish?
No, sir. I don't think so.
I'll give that to Chris, so she has something to do. Okay.
Ben, back to you, a quick question. Are we all set up for, I know we haven't had any huge snows, but in the past we've had issues with running our routes, trying to get stuff, everybody with new people, we've got everything figured out, who's going when, where, and...
We do, the route southwest is the largest route that we've got, as far as gravel roads, and that'll be a new blade operator covering that territory, so it will probably take us a little while longer to get all of that territory than it has in the past. Otherwise, everything else should be right on. I mean, we're looking at, we have 7 full-time blade operators in the county, and I think we just replaced 4 of them, so.
Well, that's kind of where I was going, I just wanna make sure people understand we have some new people doing some new positions, so please give them the benefit of the doubt. They're busting their butt trying to get things covered, so...
We did get we got a thank you last week, from a gal up in Wacusta Township, because, again, a new blade operator hasn't been following the same route that the old blade operator followed every single snowstorm. He is trying to figure out how he's gonna run the route, and he was there earlier than the other guy used to be, so she just called to say thanks.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
But you have all the shops are fully staffed now.
Shops are fully staffed, our new guy started last Monday, so.
Well, and they've got,
Full staff, we don't have, the part-time guy. I talked to Jared Hatcher, he was looking at coming in, but I haven't talked to him lately. Obviously, the weather's been nice, I haven't even thought about it. It's tough to get a part-time guy in here because you don't guarantee any hours, and you're asking them to come in the worst and nastiest of weather.
Rather than sitting in your house, looking out the window, you're looking through a windshield and not really wanting to be looking through the windshield.
White knuckled with your butt puckered.
Right.
Maybe, speaking of which is not a particularly fun part-time job, but hopefully you have even if it's a short list of people that past year that might think of being able, the qualifications to do that, 'cause I doubt he's gonna wanna do it forever either.
No, I mean, most of these guys, they do it for 1 year, they realize that they don't get a ton of hours. Or they do get
And you never know.
And it's the hours that you don't wanna work, and they don't come back the next year.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's good.
One thing on, roads, and I think that, secondary roads has been doing this more so, when we get these funky kinda icing, more so conditions, you have been known to go out and sprinkle a little sand, like in the center of the road, if it just, you start to get that glazing, it looks like, maybe even done some here the other day. We talked about that over the last couple of years,
Right.
where you get those, not where you're moving snow, but where you're getting that glazing slickness that, usually always really good about hitting the intersections and the curves and that, but
Right.
when it's widespread enough, of actually trickling some down the center line, so at least it gives some amount of traction across both lanes.
It definitely depends on the conditions. This last storm, we didn't do it because it was 40-mile-an-hour winds. Nothing
Okay.
would have stayed on the road that we would have put down.
Yep,
But, that was the storm where it started out as kind of a drizzling rain and then
Yeah.
eventually switched to snow.
yep,
What we did on that particular, event was send our maintainers out first, because they can apply more down pressure with their belly blade to try and peel
yep, that was
that ice up.
yep. But, I know that's,
Yeah.
given, the conditions always dictate, but if you have a drizzling, icing rain with very little wind,
We try and dribble some out as it's raining to try and
To-
get that to bind in with
Yep.
the ice. that's-
just that it roughs it up a little bit versus a mirror smooth, slippery surface. That's, not that we like snow, but those conditions sometimes are worse than just snow,
Right.
because it makes it really treacherous.
I mean, last...
And you really can't remove it, you just have to pull something out there to rough it up to be able to,
There were quite a few cars in the ditch or on the shoulder last Thursday, and that was all visibility,
Yeah.
people losing track of where they are on the
Yep.
road. And not so much conditions, because there wasn't a lot of snow actually on the road, you just couldn't see where you were at.
Right. Okay.
well, thanks, Ben. Well, we are down to accepting and placing on file the fiscal year 21-22 compensation board recommendations, which we have a copy of. Sandy, did you get a copy of this?
I did, yep. Chris, emailed me everything, all your papers, it really helped.
Yes. So, obviously, it's pretty simple to see that they gave a recommended increase of 3% across the board for, next fiscal year's salary increase. So that's open to debate and discussion. As my understanding, we can lower that, but we cannot raise it.
That's what they did last year too, wasn't it?
What's that, Sandy?
I think that's what they did last year too, was the 3%, wasn't it?
I would probably agree with that without 100% certainty, but I think you're right.
I think that's
I'm
what it
pretty
was.
sure it was.
I think it's about, yep, I think you're right, same was across the board, 3%.
Yep.
Dave, I think we have to take that under further discussion.
Pretty customary. 3% is a pretty customary, anywhere from 2 to 3% right now.
And I was at that meeting, just to represent the Board of Supervisors, which luckily ours wasn't 1%, means I was representing us, but at any rate, that's kind of, I think I got the take from the board. They were being pretty conservative, given the possible financial climate with this ongoing COVID stuff, and so, I don't really have anything more to say about that. But I guess we do have to accept it and file it.
I'll make that motion to accept and file the recommendation of the compensation board.
I'll second it.
Okay, first and a second, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Filed. Committee reports from this past week.
I had nothing.
I don't think I have anything either.
I don't think I've had anything.
Nothing.
Look.
Oh, I did not.
9 o'clock up north.
Yes, he did. For me, last Monday, the 21st, I did attend the compensation board meeting that afternoon. And then I also had a building families meeting via Zoom that Monday afternoon. So I guess I did have a couple things last week, and that was all I had. Trish, did you, have anything exciting this past week? Any,
Oh, lots of stuff.
well, lots of stuff, but any auditor's business?
No, we're getting ready for election for city council in Hardy
Oh,
on the 19th,
okay.
so that's our next big thing.
And why are they having an election?
The vote was split,
Ah,
so no one,
they didn't get a majority vote?
right, no one was the clear winner, so,
So they have to have another, same two people?
Uh-huh.
yes, and 2 people,
Okay. And that's on January 19th?
yes.
Huh, okay. Anything past that?
No. I do have a question on, for Ben, maybe, like, on the parking lot, do you guys sand our parking lot, or what?
Yeah, usually, I guess in the past, Dave Rundle's always just called me when he wanted us to come in and sand. I mentioned to Peggy to just give Arturo my cell phone number, and he can do the same thing that Dave was,
Okay,
So,
and just
is
call.
Doug still cleaning it?
As far as I know, Doug is still cleaning it, we're just coming in
You do the same?
and we cast some sand in as we're heading south on Gotch Park.
okay. 'Cause I know last week there was the day that it was pretty slippery out there, and I just
Okay.
was curious to how we proceed with that.
So you just kinda went by Dave's,
Dave just called whenever he wanted it.
yep,
Is how we always did it. 'Cause he was kind of particular on where he wanted sand and where he didn't, because if we got it too close to the door, then people were tracking.
He was chasing around all
He was
day.
chasing sand all over the courthouse. Yeah, I mean, we're open to,
I think just make sure that Arturo knows the protocol, and he can,
yep.
I'm guessing Dave, being Dave, back in the day, probably got in early and cleaned away from the building and knew kinda what the situation was in the parking lot.
And he used rock salt up close to the building, and I think Arturo's still doing that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's,
It tracks less
yep,
into the building.
and then if there's any, yeah, it melts a little bit quicker and all that fun stuff, but yet, it's kinda up to the custodian to say, yeah, we do need a little shot of sand in the parking lot, just to let you know, and you'll get it out there for them.
Yep.
Perfect. Well, does anyone else have anything else?
Nope. I guess, I don't know, is Peggy not on there?
No.
No.
This is, would've been her last meeting, correct?
Correct?
I'd like to put a thank you to her for all of the years that she's given to Humboldt County. Thank her from all of us for the times that she's saved our backside by knowing and doing and thinking ahead. So, she's gonna be deeply missed. I know we're gonna have a little card deal for anybody in the county that would like to send thank yous to her. But we do want her to know we truly will miss her and wish her the best. Hopefully she has all kinds of beautiful flowers. We can come over and look at her flower gardens, 'cause that's what I understand she likes to do in the summertime, so. That and chase grandkids and whatever, so.
Yeah, we wish her the best, and thank you for the many years of service, and it is kind of a sad occasion. I mean, that we wish she was here for the last official meeting.
Right.
But she's definitely in our thoughts always and will be forever. So, yeah, thanks for that nice shout out, Bruce.
Thanks, Bruce, that was great.
With that, I guess if that's all we have, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 We are adjourned.